Hey y'all, this is Tonne Odom, and this is episode 3 of my vlog series, Tony's World. In order to watch these episodes, you will have to go to YouTube, to my channel that's called Tonne Odom, and that is TonneOdom. And please also subscribe and, watch all my other videos that I've made as well. I have many other videos beside my usual vlog videos. So basically, I normally upload my vlogs on Thursday nights. Now, depending on if I'm feeling like doing more episodes, I'll sometimes upload an episode or two before Thursday. But normally, I upload my vlog episodes every Thursday night at 8 o'clock p.m. This episode is going to be my 4th episode, and I've been enjoying doing this for a while now. Well, in this episode, I would just like to talk about friends. I want to talk about friends. I am at a point in life where when it comes to having friends, my friend circle is literally small as hell. The reason for that is because the people who I grew up with, who I thought were my friends, who I had known my whole life, they turned out to be no good. And that's serious. They turned out to be no good. I was a good friend to them, and they had their moments where they were good friends to me. Like, I love these people with all my heart. I looked at them as family. And I mean, it's just bad that this time around, at 27 years old, I'm not cool with literally nobody who I grew up with. I have, one good friend. One. He's my best friend. He's like a brother to me. His name is Hakeem. And my other friends, I hate that they're so far away, but this is a girl who I went to college with. Well, two of them are girls who I went to college with, and the other one, she's their roommate, but she's cool too, even though I don't know her like that. The times that I FaceTime with my friends, she's been in the FaceTime and she's funny as hell, and I love her vibe. But growing up, I'm going to tell you the story about this girl, one of the girls. This was like my best friend growing up, going through high school. When I say best friend, I mean me and her, we would talk on the phone in the middle of the night, in the middle of the day. It didn't matter. And when we talked on that phone, we talked about everything. We didn't ever sugarcoat nothing. Like, whatever we was feeling, whatever we were going through in our lives, we expressed it to each other, because that's what friends do, especially when you were close as me and her were. So basically, I knew her growing up when we used to ride the bus. I knew her growing up. And we didn't start interacting with each other until we were in the 5th grade. It was 5th grade when me and her started talking to each other, because we were classmates. And back then, me and her, we sort of didn't get along, but at the same time, I could tell deep down that, me and her, we was gonna be good friends, because she was funny, she was goofy, and she wasn't scared to put people in their place. And see, the way I was back then, I was that type of person where I was still shy, because kids used to make fun of me and things like that. And see, I basically would most of the time leave it alone, at least back then, because again, that was in the 5th grade. And see, I had friends back then, but I wasn't one of the popular kids. And so as time went on, me and this girl, we grew close and close. We were just like this. We were like brother and sister. And not only that, we were also, well, we're cousins. We found that out in the long run that me and her were actually kin. We were cousins. And so as time went on, we grew up, we got older. And I mean, high school is where all of the bullshit it went down. So me being the type of friend that I am, you tell me, tell me your secret, you tell me anything. I'm going to keep that between me and you. I'm not going to be the type of friend where you tell me something and then I go around and I spread your business to everybody. I don't do that. I'm not that type of friend. I have always been that type of friend where you tell me something, it stays between me and you will never hear it no more. The only way that you might hear it is if I wasn't the only one you told. Because again, when a person tell me stuff, they don't hear it no more. And see, it was a lot of times where, she told me stuff and she didn't have to worry about hearing it no more because she knew that I wasn't going to say nothing about it. Like, she was my friend. That was my best friend. I loved this girl to death. Like, I loved her. Loved her to death. And I mean, I could just sit here and I could just go back to when we were in the classrooms, how we would always be laughing and talking while the teacher would be trying to teach. Like, we both would do our work, but at the same time, you already know how students like to do. And see, back at that time, when we were teenagers, we was doing that work, and then we would be stopping and we would be laughing and we would be talking shit to each other. Like, sometimes we would even pick at each other and make them real funny ass jokes that didn't offend the other person because we knew each other. And I mean, like, we just had that chemistry. Like, it was real. It wasn't nothing fake about me. It wasn't nothing fake about her. And see, she was, I don't know how to explain it, but she was the type of person where, she got into it with a lot of people. And that was normally because a lot of folks would love to try to start stuff with her. And see, being the type of person that she was, and she still is to this day, even though I ain't spoke to her in a minute, I still know how she is. And see, she wasn't a pushover. Like, you said something to her, she would cut your ass right out on the spot. And I mean, if you tried to, talk bad about her, oh, she'll get you together right there and she wouldn't care who was there or what the repercussion would be. Like, she was this good person who she was this good person who, she had a big heart. But at the same time, a lot of people were doing her wrong. And I mean, like, me and her, we connected. Like, she didn't ever have to worry about me doing her wrong. And I didn't ever have to worry about her doing me wrong. Well, at least back then, I thought that. Like, we would talk about, like, the personal things that we were dealing with in our lives. And the type of people that me and her were. Instead of crying about it, because we did have our times, like, we had talked, and we would be like, we would be sad behind closed doors, and we cried and things like that. But when we would actually talk to each other, we wouldn't be sad or nothing about that stuff. We would basically turn it into jokes. Like, the old saying is something like, you gotta laugh to keep from crying. And see, that's exactly what me and her would always do. And I mean, it was funny as hell because, like, it would just be so fucking funny. Like, I want to tell some of them damn jokes, but at the same time, I'm going to keep them to myself. I'm gonna keep them to myself. But it was funny as hell. Like, the type of stuff that we were having to put up with when we were teenagers and growing up, like, we were under stress and we just, wanted better lives. Like, At school, you had folks who would talk about her, who didn't like her for their own reasons. And then you had a lot of people who didn't like me. They didn't fucking like me. And some of them folks, they couldn't stand my ass because I was friends with her. And they knew how close me and her were, and they knew that I wasn't gonna never turn my back on her. Now, don't get me wrong. It was a few times where me and her, we would get into it about stuff. And I mean, it was even a time where I did turn my back on her because she had pissed me off. Like, she had pissed me off, and I had stopped talking to her for a while because other friends of mine, they had came back and they were telling me stuff that, she had said. And see, I should have, I should have spoke with her about it. That would have been the right thing to do. But for some strange ass reason, I believe that she said it because these are people that I had grew up with, and I was close with all of them. And then I was also looking at the fact that she was always involved in so much damn shit. Like, every time I looked up, it was always something that had her name in it. And she was always getting into it with people because I even had gotten into it with like a few folks about her, taking up for her because that's my friend. I'm not just going to, sit around and let people talk about you bad. No, that's not the way I roll. I don't do that. And I mean, we would have those very few fallouts in high school, and we would start back talking because one of the fallouts, I don't know if I should say it was my fault. I really don't know because I was just joking with her about a relationship that she was once in, and we were on the three-way with her lover. And see, I thought that we was all cool because, I was the comedy one. I always had them laughing and stuff like that. And see, I didn't know, that they felt a certain type of way about the jokes that I was making until me and her were on the phone ourselves one-on-one. And she was telling me about that. Her lover didn't like, the type of jokes that I was making. And like I told her, I was just playing. I ain't mean nothing by it. But see, I didn't know that I had, hurt the girl feelings or whatever. And then, we got into it that time. And then we didn't talk for a while. And then we started back talking. And I mean, friends. That's how it is when you have friends. A friendship is never going to be, it's never going to be A1. It's never going to be perfect. Y'all are going to have your good days. You're going to have your bad days. You're going to get into it. You're going to fall apart, and then you're going to make up. It's all about, how important a friendship is to the both of you because it takes both to sit up there and make one. And so, like, I remember when she had gotten pregnant. She had gotten pregnant, and I mean, it was so much damn drama about that. It was drama about that shit. I mean, people, they were just talking about her so damn bad. And me being the friend that I am, well, I stayed by her side, never turned my back on her. And I mean, it was just so many lies. It was lie after lie after lie. I mean, I was even involved in a damn lie. My name was all the way at another damn school. Sitting up here saying that I had got caught doing something in the damn bathroom. And that wasn't even fucking true. And I mean, it was just bad because one minute, they were sitting up here saying that I was gay. Then they jumped to talking about that I was her damn baby daddy. I mean, that's the type of bullshit that comes with being in high school. It comes with being in school, period. People will fucking lie on you. They'll start shit with you for no damn reason. And I mean, it was just BS through and through because our last year of high school, because I think, yeah, she was pregnant around that time. That was 2013. I mean, that was senior year. I went in saying that I wanted to make this my best damn year since I was getting ready to graduate. And I mean, our senior year of high school, it started off good and it just went up in flames. The drama, the bullshit, the lies. I mean, you have people wanting to fight her over lies. People were wanting to fight me. I mean, it was just bad. And see, it felt like it was me and her against the world because it was, you know. And I mean, we laughed together, we cried together, we were embarrassed together. Like, that was my best friend. We were very close. And I mean, we even went to senior prom together. Like, we both wore white. We wore that nice ass white. And then, looking at, from remembering it, because we did take our damn prom picture. However, we never received our damn picture. As a matter of fact, we never got a prom picture from our junior prom, and we didn't get one from the senior prom. It just never happened. Why? I don't know. But after that was all said and done, I went off to college, and me and her, we would text every day. We would talk on the phone every day. And I remember when she was in labor with the little baby because she was having a little boy. She had a little boy. And I mean, she was texting with me that night because I was laying in my dorm room. I was laying in the bed. And she would text with me from the time she was in labor. Even, of course, when she was giving birth to the baby, it was a pause with the text messages. But time she gave birth to him, she sent me a picture of him. And he was a pretty little baby, pretty little baby. She had a little boy. And it was just so damn amazing. My best friend, like my sister, she done brought a new life into the world. She's a mother now. And I mean, I was real happy for her. And then on top of that, I was the dad. I was happy, I had a godson. And so we stayed in contact and everything. And I even remember the time when I had went and I brought the baby like a lot of clothes, cause that's my friend, that's my godson. So of course I'm gonna make sure my godson, got some real nice stuff to wear. I was doing my part, and you had other people who was around her who was getting the little baby things. But just speaking for myself, I went and I bought him a lot of nice ass clothes. Nice. And I borrowed my cousin's car because I was home visiting my cousin one time. And she was nice enough to let me get her car. And I drove the stuff up there. And I gave it to her, and she was real happy about it. She really was, because I had brought him I brought him a lot of stuff, and she would even, sit up here and show me. She was like, Tony, because that's how she used to say my name. She didn't ever say Tony. She would always say Tony. And she would, sometimes send me pictures, or when I would go visit, she would, show me his stuff, what he don't want and stuff. And so everything was good. And it just started going straight to fucking hell. We were so close, but for some odd ass reason, it had turned into where me and her, we would get into it one year and we would fall out and we wouldn't talk for months. Then we would start back talking, and then we would fall out again for some more months. I mean, it was just crazy, because the last good moment that we had together, it was back when the remake of It came out about that damn clown. I had picked her up and we went to the movies. We had went to the movies to go see It. And that was in 2017. Yeah, 2017. And we had went to the movies to go see It. And I mean, we was up in that long ass line. And of course, y'all already know it wasn't nothing about no damn COVID back then. It was all normal. People didn't have to wear no face mask or nothing. Just a bunch of people gathered up, having fun, getting ready to watch some movies. So we took our nice little picture in line and, went in and we sat down and we was enjoying the movie. And see, one of the things that made me mad with her that night, see, I don't know what the hell, like, I had literally got sleepy. Like, I was sleepy towards the end of the movie, but I was able to stay up. And then we were going back home. And I was feeling, tired. I was tired and I was sleepy. And I remember I was telling her that. And then she had that damn attitude in her voice. And, she was sitting up here saying stuff like, well, you can let me call somebody and I'll have somebody come pick me up, something like that. And I just basically just let it go and I just drove and, took her home and stuff like that. And see, like, I know so much about her and she knows so much about me, you know. And see, we would never throw each other up under the bus. We would never do each other like that. Even though to this day, I don't like her, I wouldn't throw her up under the bus. Like, all her secrets I still keep them right up in me. And so, next thing I know, she needed me to do a favor for her one night. So me and my other friend and her little brother, we had got in the car and we were on our way. We was on our way to pick her up from somewhere because she needed a ride. And so on our way there, I'll never forget that deers are dangerous as fuck and they can move so fast. We were coming up on like a little bridge. Like, we were getting ready to go over a hill. And next thing I know, it was a car coming from the other way. And that stuff was like the damn Matrix or something, because I was driving. My friend, she was on the passenger side and her little brother was in the back seat. So we were getting ready to meet that other car, and tell me why a damn Daryl came out of nowhere. Like, it literally, like, we met, it was just like this, how close we were. And that deer came out of nowhere and shot across that road like the damn Flash. And that literally scared the fuck out of us. I can't speak on them folks in that other car. All I can say is that scared the fuck out of us. Cause see, we were laughing, like, we were both, like, we all was scared. But me and my friend, me and her, we was up there laughing and we were talking about how scared we was. And she was like, oh shit, I almost peed on myself, stuff like that. And I was just like, oh Lord, my damn hands were even shaking a little bit while I was sitting up there driving. And so we picked her up and we told her a little bit about what had happened, and then, made that long ass drive. Taking her right back home. Had already drove real far to pick her up in that city. Then took her right back home. And then, didn't even ask her for no fucking gas money or nothing like that. Cause, I'm like, I'm just helping out my friend. So I ain't gonna, I didn't ask her for nothing. And then you jump to more moments and she would want me to do stuff for her, but I couldn't do that. It was at times where I couldn't do that stuff for her, like take her certain places. Like, we have gone places in the past now. Like, I done went with her to doctor's appointments and things like that. Like, I even went with her to, like, the baby's doctor appointment when the baby was first born. Because, see, she was a good friend to me, because back when I was in college between freshman and sophomore year, I remember that I was going through some stuff and I didn't want to go home for the holidays. And she was nice enough to let me stay with her and her family. She invited me to stay with them for Thanksgiving and summer Christmas. when I came home for the holidays. And so it had basically got to a point where she always would like to, wanted to go places. And I mean, I, would want to, but at the same time, I was more of a homebody and I didn't really go to parties or nothing like that. So I remember we got into it, about that. But the thing that really killed our friendship back then, she had basically started talking to psychics on the phone, or should I say psychic. She had started talking to this psychic woman on the phone, and it's just crazy how this shit happened. So she would always tell me about, back when she was first emailing with the psychic and stuff. And then she had spoke to the woman on the phone, and the woman was, telling her something, talking about that it's somebody in her life who is jealous of her. They hate her. They jealous of what she got, her love life, and shit like that. And then we're talking about that they were trying to harm her. And I mean, I was just listening to what she was telling me. I wasn't gonna try to argue with her or nothing about it. I would just listen to it and I would give my opinion and then we would, leave it at that. But she was this particular time when we was on the phone, she told me that the psychic wanted her to pay her like $30, something like that, so she could perform some kind of safety spell, cleansing spell, or something like that to keep her safe from the harm and evil. And she would also tell her like who was the person in her life who really hated her, and they wanted something bad to happen to her. And I was like, well, I hope you find out who it is. I mean, I hope. And so next thing I know, we were talking, like we spoke on the phone and we texting text message, and she was like, the psychic told her who the person was. And I asked her, who did she say it was? And she gonna say that the psychic told her that she couldn't tell nobody. And so me having common sense and knowing my friend the way I did, I knew damn well that something wasn't right then and there. Because normally she would tell me shit, but that particular moment she didn't want to tell me because the psychic told her she couldn't tell nobody, and I thought that was bullshit. So next thing I know, had nothing changed. We were still getting along and everything, and voila. She had wanted me to do something for her one day. She wanted me to take her somewhere, and I couldn't do it. Yes, she was seeing somebody. She was seeing somebody. She basically had a relationship with a guy back then. And I had already picked her up from that damn spot that night when she had stayed with him. And so she was wanting me, I think if I'm remembering it right, I think that she wanted me to, take her there to meet him again, and see, I wasn't finna do it. So, a person, when it comes down to a person who can't get what they want out of you, that's when all bets are off and they let their true colors show, and they'll start trying to talk to you any damn kind of way and talk about you like a damn dog. And see, she was fucking mad at me because I wouldn't take her to meet the dude. And she just started trying to go in on my ass and stuff like that. And she even brought up my other friend who was with me that night. And then gonna bring up my cousin and was talking about that if she was one of them, I'd be ripping and running to take her, to take them somewhere if it was them. And then gonna try to throw this shit up in my face, talking about that some people change when they get shit, was referring to when I got my new Altima back then in 2017. And see, that pissed me the fuck off. We got into it in them damn text messages because that we were arguing like it wasn't nothing. I was being calm with it and everything, trying my best to, because I was just annoying that stupid shit she was talking. But she was just coming at me more and more. And the big thing that pissed me off out of all the shit she was saying, She gonna tell me, y'all, that the psychic told her that I was the one who hated her and I didn't like her, and I was the one who, like, it was just, that shit pissed me the fuck off. Do you hear me? Because that was my fucking friend. Why would I fucking hate you and you're my damn friend and all the damn shit that I had done for you? You know, everything that I had done for you, everything that we had ever talked about, like, it was just bullshit. That made me so goddamn mad. You have no idea how mad I was. I mean, we got into it in them damn messages, and then she was trying to piss me off even more because she knew how much I love my godson. She knew how much I love my godson. And so she took it a step further and gonna tell me, you know, gonna say his name and gonna say, and as for being his goddad, that title is dropped. I mean, it was just, y'all, it was just bullshit because I hadn't done shit to this damn girl. And because I wouldn't take her to go meet up with a dude, she got fucking mad at me. And then to top it off, you gonna sit up here and gonna tell me that just because a damn psychic, somebody that you done spoke to over the phone, who supposedly done put up a spell on you and gonna let you know who the person was who hated you, out there you done paid her like 30. I know I said earlier in this video that it was $30, but it's gonna be between 30, 40, or $50 that she paid that damn woman. And I mean, because the woman said the person was me, this girl real life believed that shit. And I mean, you know, that's what fucked up our whole friendship. And that's why I stopped fucking with her. Because we had got into it 2 days in a row in them text messages. Like, the first day, I went at work. But that next day, it was morning time, and I was getting ready to clock in. Because I was working at the chicken plant back then. I was getting ready to clock in. And then here she come texting me more bullshit, sending them long ass essays, and start trying to talk about me like a damn dog. And I mean, you know, I was pissed off, and we were going back and forth in them damn messages. And the way that I solved that issue is I blocked her damn ass. And I didn't talk to her no fucking more. No more. Because there was some low down, dirty ass shit that she did and that she said to me. Because why the fuck would you sit up here and believe something from somebody who talking about they a damn psychic over the fucking phone right after you done set up there and paid them money? You know, like, that shit really pissed me the fuck off. So, me and her, we did not talk for a few years. I think it was like 3 years or so that I went without talking to this damn girl. Then one day, another friend of mine's, I had visited her because she was home for the holidays too, just like me. And it was before then, I think she had told me over the phone that she seen her, and that they were talking at the library, and she had asked her, you know, about me and stuff. And that's when I sat there and I told her, you know, I filled my friend in on what the fuck home. And then I was like, you know what? Let's just go up there. Let's go up there and let's see her. I want to see if her ass is at home, you know. And then we went. Like, my reason for going at first, it was just like this. I was like, since she wants to sit up here and make like she wants to, you know about me, because that wasn't the first time I had heard about her asking about me. My other friend had sit up here and told me one time when they had went to a homecoming, they seen her and she had asked her about me. And, you know, she sat up there and she told her a little stuff, and that was it. It wasn't nothing bad. And so we rode to her house, and then we pulled up in the yard. Her mama was outside, you know, doing some work in the yard. She spoke. And then I went in and I seen her grandma, because her grandma always was nice to me and everything. And then I seen my little godson. He had got so tall. He was tall, and then he always have had nice, good hair. She had his hair braided up. And so She came outside and we were sitting on the porch, the three of us. We were laughing and talking. And then we were, basically revisiting the bullshit that tore us apart. She was informing me that two other girls who basically always did her wrong, one minute they was doing her wrong, the next minute they weren't. She informed me that they were basically talking shit about me and, getting in her head saying stuff. And like I told her, that don't mean, nothing. Like, if you supposed to be my damn friend, why would you believe some bullshit that they were saying about me like that? And, we were laughing and she was apologizing because she loved to smoke cigarettes. She loved her cigarettes. And, that was the thing about me and her. See, we never sugarcoated nothing. Like, we always kept it real with each other because I let her know how pissed off I was at her, and I told her exactly what all I had said about her, and she was telling me what all she said about me. And see, we were back on good terms just like that. It was like our friendship had never been lost because after me and my other friend drove off from her house, we were sitting up there talking, and she was like, because that's how close friends y'all are. Like, that was my best friend. So you jump, and here's where more bullshit comes in at. And this is what tore our friendship apart once and for all. So I didn't know that she had started doing tarot cards until she was telling us that day that we were visiting her up there at her house on the porch. She told me that she had started doing tarot cards. And I mean, she even had her own little clientele. And people, would be cash shopping her money so they could get, information and stuff. And I mean, she set up prayer and she even did a tarot card reading on me. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was very accurate because to sum it all up, I always have had a fucked up love life. And see, the thing about it is, I just don't go for any bullshit. Whoever I talk to, I'm just not gonna put up with your bullshit. That's just me. You ain't finna sit up here and do me in the damn kind of way and think I'm just gonna sit back like a little bitch and, not say nothing about it. And so she had started telling me about some stuff that was going on with her. And I don't know if this was the same psychic who she had spoke to all them years ago who basically lied on me. But she had told me about her and the psychic. They were talking. And the psychic was telling her that somebody was throwing psychic attacks on her. Psychic attacks, and they were trying to do harm to her and things like that. And then a dude who she used to talk to, who was her ex, she was sitting up here telling me, talking about that dude was into like that dark magic shit and his family, all types of shit like that. And then I even remember, when she was talking about that her own mama, I can't remember, she said the psychic told her that her mama was sitting up here, had put spells on her or something like that and was hoping for her downfall. But basically, she thought that her own mama was trying to do harm to her through magic. And I mean, I would just sit there on that phone and yeah, I would listen to it. But at the same time, I wouldn't really argue with her about it. I would just, just say what I had to say because I really wasn't believing it. But I didn't really let her know that I wasn't believing it. But, I was just going in the conversation because I already knew if I would have said something like, you can't believe that, it would have got bad and she would have picked a badass argument with me and she would have got pissed off at me. And I wasn't even trying to go there with her because we were back talking and on good terms and I wanted to keep it that way. But the bullshit came. Like this pandemic, the way it was, we would talk on that phone and text like we used to do. And see, I had basically just got sick and tired of every time when me and her would get on the phone, it would always be about something bad. And when I say something bad, it would always be pertaining to shit that she had discussed with the psychic, stuff about damn psychic attacks. And if it wasn't that, it would be stuff about the pandemic. And I mean, I know how bad the COVID pandemic is. All y'all who watching this video who done lived through it, you know how bad it is. You know the million lives that it took. You know how, you know the vaccine, everything. But see, this was in 2020. This was last year when this stuff happened with me and her. And I mean, she always was texting me talking about the damn virus and stuff like that. And I was, you know, all of that. And I was just like, I'm so sick and tired of talking about this stuff. And then it happened. So the psychic, once again, was going to tell her who was the person who was throwing psychic attacks on her ass and who was trying to harm her and everything else. And next thing you know, she had sent, I can't remember how it went that day, we were texting, but she had set up her, and how did that shit go? I can't remember if I had spoke to her that day or if I had ignored her messages, but it was something that had happened. That's it. The psychic, the same bullshit, similar shit. She was telling me about that the psychic was going to tell her who the person was who was throwing psychic attacks on her. And I was like, okay, because I let her know because we were texting and stuff. And then I even told her that shit on the phone when we talked about that. And I was like, okay, I don't like where this is going because this shit is sounding too damn familiar. It is basically sounding like it did back then when you were talking about the psychic. We're going to tell you who the person was who was basically trying to hurt you and stuff, putting psychic and dark magic on you. And I said, and what happened? You said that she said it was my ass. And I said, we ended up falling out because of that fucking lie. And she was telling me, y'all, not to worry about it. And I was like, okay then. But see, I was just preparing myself because see, it was sounding too fucking familiar. Because that's how it had happened the first time. So basically, we set up here and we had text the day after that. I'm trying to remember. I think that she had fucking ignored me or something like that. Or I ignored her. I can't remember how this stuff went because it was last year. And plus, that was in my old phone. I'm going to have to find my old phone because I got a new phone now. But like, I had blocked her number because I was tired of her bullshit, basically. And then one day when I was on the phone talking to my friend from Jackson, it was this number that had started texting my phone. And I opened it up. And it was basically screenshots of emails. And the emails were between her and this psychic. I knew because I was reading it, I was looking at it word for word, and then I saw her name was up in them emails. And I was reading that shit, and then, cause see, I had my friend on speakerphone. My friend from Jackson was on speakerphone, and see, I was surfing the internet, and then that's when the messages started coming through. And then that's when I told my friend, I was telling her about it. And then next thing I know, it was this damn number called my phone. And it was calling, basically, I couldn't see the damn number or nothing, you know. And so I answered it. What is the first thing that I heard? Have you lost your damn mind? Bro, it was her and she was hollering at me. So she thought that she was going to fucking holler at me and cuss me out. That shit, it didn't work years ago, and that shit wasn't finna work then. I hollered at her so damn bad, you would have thought that it was that she was right there in my damn apartment with me. Like she had my damn temperature was up here through the motherfucking roof. This girl, like we were both hollering at each other and cussing each other on that damn phone like it wasn't none. I was mad as hell because the same damn bullshit that messed us up all them years ago, which were basically lies, it came right back again after I done basically, welcomed her back into my damn life. Cause think about it. I went to her house that day and started back talking to her, and then we got back on good terms. And so, I mean, it was just straight up bullshit. And it was so damn bad because when she saw she couldn't fucking out talk me or out yell me, she hung that damn phone up. And I was just pissed off because y'all, you don't do no damn body like that, especially when it is fucking lies. And see, for example, them damn emails were saying shit like, cause the psychic, she would ask the psychic question, I tell her stuff, and the psychic will respond back. And one of the things that I read, I remember the psychic was telling her stuff like, yes, Tony is the one who hates you. He is the one who is doing dark magic against you, black magic. Tony is not your friend. He does not like you. And then, she gonna start talking about that's why you are always having dreams about Tony, because Tony is wicked. And that was some straight up bullshit. That pissed me the fuck off because God himself knows, my God, Jesus Christ in heaven, he knows that I do not know a damn thing about no fucking voodoo, no hoodoo, no black magic. I don't know nothing about that shit. I do not. And I mean, I was reading them screenshots, and another thing I was looking at was sitting up here saying some type of crazy shit. I think if I'm remembering it right, talking about that I was trying to make her have a damn wreck in her damn car. Then gonna sit up here, and our other cousin, who I hadn't seen in a few years, was sitting up here. She was pregnant back then. This psychic gonna tell her, because she asked her about her cousin and her baby, and the psychic was like, your cousin and her baby, they're fine. You just have to keep them away from Tony. And I mean, y'all, this shit, you have no idea how crazy this shit is and how mad this shit had me that day. And then, to top it off, the psychic told her that I was fucking her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, who wasn't with her no more. The psychic told her that me and him, we was going together, and that I was helping him do black magic on her. It was fucking crazy to me because I was basically like 2 hours away from the house. I had been moved away from home. And at that time last year when me and her had got into it, I was still living in another part of Mississippi. I was 2 hours away from home. Now, I done moved a little bit back closer to home because I'm only 40-some minutes away. I just gonna round off and say an hour. But the whole point is, that was bullshit. It all was bullshit. And even though I did say that's what topped it all off, no, that's not what the fuck topped it all off. What really sat up there and had me through the fucking roof, it made me wish that I could just fucking fly, was when I read that damn message, because during these last few years, we've lost a few people who we went to school with. We've lost, in my class, we've lost 3 people. We've lost 3 people who were my classmates, and then we lost a guy who was a grade ahead of me from another class. He was a real cool, funny dude. Like, he loved making people laugh. Like, everybody loved him. And see, that shit, like, it made me so fucking mad what I read in that email. So, the psychic basically told her that one of my classmates, who's now passed on, him, along with the guy who was in the grade ahead of us, he passed away as well. The psychic basically said that their spirits were rising from the grave to warn her about me, because I was so fucking evil and I was so wicked. And that stuff made me so, like, the whole, like, it was just, That was it. Because it pissed me off that she like the fact that you dragged two people who we knew, who we knew and who we went to school with, and they ain't no longer here. The fact that they were even dragged into this, and you want to say that they spirits they were rising from the dead to let you, well, to warn you that I was getting stronger with my black magic. Like, y'all hear how crazy this shit sounds? So I ask y'all, do you really think after a person done sit up here and they done basically done talked about me behind my back? Cause see, I ain't even know none of this shit if she hadn't sent them down screenshots. I had stopped talking to this damn girl, and then she came with them damn screenshots a few days afterward. Do you really think after I done read all this shit, and then after how you did me all them years ago, you were claiming back then that I was throwing down black magic on you and that I hated you, which was all bullshit. And then you done basically came back at me with the same shit again. The only difference, it was worse. And then on top of that, you a psychic, and I'm going to just go on record. I'm just gonna say I believe it was the same damn psychic. I mean, it was just fucking crazy, y'all. And I mean, I sent them down screenshots. I sent them messages to my other friend so she could see what I was talking about. And she read them messages, and that girl was like, and she really believed she really believed that about you. And I was like, yeah. And that shit ain't even true. Like, that stuff pissed me off. I told my mama about that stuff, and see, my mama got mad about that because, like, it was just bad because my mama already knew about when we had got into it that last time all them years ago. And see, for me and this girl to start back talking 3 years after that first incident, and for her to come at me on the same bullshit, if not worse, I mean, that was just wrong. That was wrong, and that was just low down and dirty. And see, I called her house. I was so mad I called her house. I sat up there and I spoke to her mama. I told her mama what the fuck she did. Her mama was laughing because she told me that it was funny to her because everything that I was saying, that was all the same stuff that she had been saying about her. And, her mama, even told me, she was like, because, like, I hear y'all when she be on the phone talking to you. And like I told her mama, I wasn't going along with the stuff that she was saying about you. Yeah, I would listen to it, but I didn't ever really believe it. And I wasn't, just going to come out and tell her, that she couldn't believe that psychic because I knew that would trigger an argument with her and we would, fall out. And I mean, after it was all said and done, because like I told her mama, I said, I'm down here in my apartment. I'm sitting up here 2 hours away from y'all. I'm minding my own damn business. I mean, this is just wrong. And like I told her, it's something wrong with her. She is crazy. Like, I did not believe it after all these years when I was in school, when people used to talk about her and they used to say that and I would stand up for her and stuff like that. And I mean, it's bad that it took all of these years for me to see exactly how damn evil and low down and dirty she was. And this is somebody who I really did love and I did consider my fucking friend. And for her to sit up here and stab me in the back, not once but twice, that shit was foul and it was dirty as fuck and it was wrong. And then, gonna sit up here and gonna, send me messages talking about I better not come up there to her house no more. And I mean, I respond, like, I let her know what the deal was. And then after I had spoke to her mama, that's when that same damn number that had their number blocked where I couldn't see it, I said, and I already knew it was her. And like I said, when I picked up that phone, go on and talk your shit. Go on and talk your shit now. Let me hear it. She gonna sit up here and she didn't really say shit. She just gonna say, she said one little damn thing and she gonna try to say it in a calm way, gonna say, don't call her no more. Something like that. And I mean, y'all, that was some fucked up shit. And you just don't know how, that hurt me. It pissed me off. And I mean, that was just the start to many, more things of me seeing that everybody that you say is your friend, they're really not your friend. Because I didn't have nothing but love for this girl. I didn't have nothing but love for her. I would never do nothing to harm her or anybody close to her. I'm not no evil person. That's not who the fuck I am. But that's who she tried to paint me out to be. And once again, you have whoever the fucking psychic was who she was speaking to blame for us falling out. And you also have to blame her ass as well because she chose to believe the shit. And that was wrong. And so, basically, this is just part 1 of this episode. This is episode 4. This is called What About Your Friends? I called it this because of the TLC song from back in the day, because TLC, they're my favorite girl group. If you don't know who TLC is, that's Chili, T-Boz, and the late Lisa Left Eye Lopez, who passed away back in 2002 in a car accident. But this is called What About Your Friends, part 1. This is episode 4 of my vlog series on YouTube called Tony's World. And see, it would be nice for y'all to, subscribe to my channel and comment on this video and just give me feedback about what you think. Because, as you can see, like, it really did piss me off. It pissed me off when I talk about stuff like this, especially when I know I had never done nothing to the person. But until next time, thank y'all for watching this. And I love y'all, and y'all take care. And just tune in for part 2 of this episode, because I have more stories to share, because she's not the only friend who has done me wrong over the years. Until next time again, I love y'all. This is Tonne Odom, and bye.